So many of you obviously concerned about what's happening. New York poised to become a safe haven for women seeking abortions once the Supreme Court reverses Roe v. Wade. Abortions protected by state law as part of the Reproductive Health Act, but local leaders are vowing to continue the fight to safeguard the reproductive rights of all women.
We recently signed into law the right to have it in every single health care plan, including Medicaid, in the state of New York with no cost sharing.
We come council strong, representing the first majority women-led city council in the history of this city. And we want the hundreds of you, New Yorkers, who are standing up for the freedom of women, not just in New York, for the freedom of women across these United States of America, to know that we are not going to turn back the clock today.
Well, you heard City Council Speaker Adrienne Adams say it. The first majority women-led City Council is fighting tooth and nail to safeguard the rights of women all across the country. And Speaker Adams joins us this Thursday morning to discuss how the city is bracing for what is to come. Speaker Adams, welcome. Thanks for being with us once again.
Thank you so much for having me, Vanessa and Dan. Thank you.
So New York was ahead of the game here. The state codified abortion rights back in 2019. Can you summarize what New York's Reproductive Health Act actually covers?
Yeah, well, again, thank you so much for having me on this morning to discuss this very troubling development this week. You know, as we all were, so many of us, I was horrified and I was angered by the draft majority opinion of the United States Supreme Court that we all found out about on Monday night. The rights of women, trans and gender nonconforming people across the United States to have safe access to abortions and reproductive health care, which Roe v. Wade protected under federal law, faced a real threat this week. If a final decision follows the logic of this draft opinion, it could impact the health and safety of tens of millions of Americans, including 36 million women across the country, nearly half of women of reproductive age in the United States, whose rights would be eliminated by 5 or 6 justices, mostly white men on the Supreme Court.
Yeah. You know, Speaker Adams, we had the health commissioner on who said that New York was going to do everything in their power to make sure that this doesn't change. Abortions right now are covered by health care in New York State. Are you confident that even if this does get overturned and it goes to the next level, that abortions will still be protected and covered here in New York?
Yeah, I'm really confident in our laws. New York has broad coverage requirements for abortion care under both public and private health insurance. Our state, thankfully, has long covered abortion under Medicaid, and our state lawmakers recently enacted a law that requires private insurance to cover abortion care without a copayment or deductible.
And Speaker Adams, I think you kind of alluded to this, but New York, again, has been on top of this, also taking measures to assist low-income women through the Abortion Access Fund. Why is this so important, just overall? And can you kind of break down what that covers?
Yeah, you know, Vanessa, the New York Abortion Access Fund supports anyone who's unable to fully pay for an abortion and is living in or traveling to New York State by providing financial assistance and connections to other resources. Now you may ask why this is necessary if insurance covers it, but we know that thousands of low-income people fall between the cracks, too poor to pay for abortion procedures, but uninsured and not poor enough to obtain health insurance like Medicaid. New York is also a destination for people across the country to seek abortions, either because it's more affordable here, there are a lack of abortion providers in their home states, or restrictions in their home states based on the stage of their pregnancy. So the fund has made grants to people from New York and several other states to access safe legal abortions, and will continue to play that important role.
You know, Speaker Adams, the SCOTUS ruling expected to criminalize abortions not only for women who undergo them, but also for the service providers who perform them, right? It goes one step further here. So what is New York doing not only to protect, as you've been talking about, the rights of women, but to protect the providers as well?
You know, Dan, that's why it's so dangerous. If this draft opinion remains as the final decision, federal law that currently protects abortion would be eliminated. And many have already taken action or indicated that they will make abortion illegal. Here in New York, as I mentioned, providers will be protected under the Reproductive Health Act, and they will remain legally allowed to provide safe abortion care. That's why it's so critical for the United States Senate to pass the Women's Health Protection Act. So federal law protects abortion in every state.
Yeah.
Now, the City Council's Women Caucus obviously taking a very strong stand against this decision. What additional actions is the council prepared to take going forward?
Yeah, Vanessa, thank you for mentioning that. I am so proud that this first ever Women Majority Council and its Women's Caucus came together to take action this week. We made clear the importance of Roe v. Wade and the right to safely access abortion and how dangerous this draft opinion is. The council will continue to advocate for the United States Senate to pass the Women's Health Protection Act to maintain federal protections for abortion, just as all Americans across the country should. We will likely soon be taking formal action as a body to urge action by the United States Senate on this bill. We'll also remain focused on improving access to abortion and reproductive health care by supporting efforts like the New York Abortion Access Fund.
Yeah, I mean, and you have so much support behind you just from the looks of that rally that we were showing the video of. I mean, it's looking like you have a real strong attendance yesterday, right? And you know, one thing affects another, when it affects another, everything kind of trickles down. So how will this SCOTUS decision, I guess, impact what's going on right now here locally, New York City budget negotiations, which are currently underway? Will it affect that at all or no?
Yeah, you know, Dan, as a city, we must provide more support for women, trans and gender nonconforming people who seek abortion and reproductive health care services, whether they're from New York or coming from another state. We in the council and in the city, you know, we are currently in budget negotiations.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that it's going to be a priority for this historic council in our negotiations as we seek to ensure our communities have the essential resources needed to be healthy and safe. New York City is committed to supporting all women throughout our city, state, and nation to get the reproductive health care they need. And we're going to keep on fighting to ensure that this right is protected.
You know, Speaker, we also had heard just the rumors here about this being the first step and that other protections could also be then brought to Supreme Court and overturned, things like LGBTQ rights, same-sex marriage. Have those discussions already begun with your caucuses within the City Council on how to keep those safeguarded as well?
Well, the discussions have just begun. This is still very new.
Yeah.
As you know, this spark took off very, very quickly. So these are new discussions that we are just starting to have right now, and we'll continue to do this on an ongoing basis.
Good. Speaker Adams, we appreciate you being here. By the way, this is your first appearance here on the Pigsty Morning News. It was great to have you. You're welcome back. Come back soon, okay?
I would like that very much. Thank you so much, both of you. Thank you.
Thank you.